Okay, so now that we have created our database, right, we have our entities here, and so we've already kind of demoed and walked through all the different common data model entities we have access to. Let's look at how we'd create our own. So to create our own entity, we're going to go up here to the top, and we're going to click this big button that says New Entity. And so then it's going to ask us for a display name, right? So what do we want to call it? We're going to call this Travel Tracker. And then you're going to see that down below it says, all right, well, the plural display name, and so they can try to guess for us. And so travel trackers, I don't like that. I'm going to call it travel tracking, right? You can adjust it. I just want to make sure you understood that. So it's not tracker, it's tracking. Trackering. That's a part of my education. So we have the display name of travel tracker. The plural is travel tracking. But you notice here then it predefines a name for us. So this is back to the whole idea that it's going to take care of the underlying data structure. So somewhere under the hood, that's its formal name. I don't really care, but it is set. And I could adjust it if I needed to, because each of these do have to be unique. Also, you have this ID out in front. That is part of your entity or part of your database. So don't overthink those. Those will just be there. You're never going to surface. You're never going to see them, but you do have these structures. So don't think too much about them. You can put in a description here, you know, where we keep expenses tracked. Like so. We'll say that. All right, so that looks good. So I'm going to say next. And so now it jumps you in here, but it's important to understand, right? There's this big purple button at the bottom, Save Entity. It hasn't saved our entity yet, but I don't want you to click that quite yet, because right now it has set the primary name to be primary name. I don't want that. So I'm going to click on primary name, and I want the display name for that to be trip. So this is your one and only chance. If you don't change this one, you can't change it later. So make sure that when you create it, you come in, it's going to leave this name as primary name. We're okay with that. The data type is text. All these are the normal settings, but we want to kind of get the display name to what we want our data to show. So we'll click done. And so then now that that is done, we want to click Save Entity. And so after a couple seconds, it's taken care of. We now have our new entity. If you go back over the entities list, so if you went through, right, this is showing us all the default entities. Hit the drop down, right, you could show all entities, or do custom, and so there's the entity that we created. So that's how we'll find it a little bit later. This custom on the drop down makes your life easier. But congratulations, you've created your first entity.